Hi everyone, Trevor Evers, Waterford Hypnosis here, and very welcome because today I'm going to be talking to a fellow colleague of mine, a a wonderful man. His name is Ken Falconer, and he's based in Larne in Antrim. And today we're going to be talking about how hypnosis can help to reduce and even remove stress and anxiety. So, hello, Ken.
Hello, Trevor. How are you this fine day?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm fantastic. Thanks. Fantastic. And it's great to have you
So,
on here with me.
well,
Uh,
first of all, thank.
the first
Okay,
Friday at 4.
okay. This is
Oh,
Friday at 4. This is your new set now. Yes,
yeah. Every
perfect.
Friday at 4, I'm going to have a fellow hypnotherapist on, and we're going to chat about all the amazing benefits that we can bring to the world. How about that? And you're the first up.
Absolutely brilliant. And thank you then for giving me the opportunity of coming in first. You know, so yeah,
Great stuff. Great stuff. So,
hypnotherapy.
Ken, can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do? I know that we decided here today we both help our clients to reduce stress and anxiety.
Yeah,
That's
that's
something
probably that's anxiety and stress is probably the biggest killer in the world at the moment. Even though it could be heart attacks and all the rest of it, we're talking about stress. And we're living in this very fluid world. And there are so much stress coming so many directions. And we have to be able to cope with this to survive. Now, hypnotherapy, as you know, a very specialized field. And there's not too many of us about.
no.
And this is why we met up earlier on in the year in May at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. And that's where we met for the
Yeah,
first time. And on
indeed.
the back of that, now we have this forum where I'm assuming every week you're going to introduce another hypnotherapist, deal with a
Yes,
different subject and all the rest. So, yeah, that's exactly what we need. And we need the public to know that hypnosis should be the first call, not the last chance saloon. I have had so many people come into my office and sit down and say, I've tried everything else.
yeah,
And I'm thinking, why? Because this is the most natural way to achieve the changes that you want.
indeed.
The reason why people have anxiety and have these stresses is because there's a conflict in their mind. And that conflict, will I or won't I, should I or shouldn't I, you second guess yourself all the time. You're putting yourself under stress. Uh, and there's a lot of, someone once asked me, it wasn't that long ago, someone once asked me, is there any good stress?
Yeah,
And that wasn't that long ago that person asked me that.
it
And
was me.
when,
So, Ken,
so,
is there such a thing as good stress?
no, I didn't want you to ask it, but I was just
Like my
wanting
own
to
ideas, but
see,
I'll hand that one over to you.
I just wanted to see your reaction to that. And not really, because stress, no matter what form it has, is going to cause biochemical change in the body and is going to cause symptoms of anxiety. Now, people talk about motivational stress. I do it. And motivational stress is different. Motivational stress is something where you're tied down to a deadline, something at work where you have to have a report done for a certain time. Yeah, you have this stress, this motivational stress, as I call it, where it needs done. You're going to have it maybe in the sports field, where for us to succeed on anything, we have to do what it takes. Like a boxer getting up at 4:30 in the morning and going for his run.
Yeah,
There's even times where you're looking out the window when you need to walk your dog and it's raining. There's a sort of stress in itself.
Yeah.
So stress is all around us, and it comes in so many forms. And listen, we're very, very fortunate if it's only the stress of going for a walk in the rain. There's other people, unfortunately, their stresses are much bigger, leading on to anxiety, leading on to panic attacks.
Sure. And do you find as well in the modern society that we live in, especially the Western world, where people have all of these daily issues, the bills and the mortgages and all the rest of it, that tend to trigger off the flight or fight response in people every day? That's not something that is natural every day, right? So it's constantly turned on. And what happens is that long term, that can be chronic, and it can end up, you can be carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, which is where we can, because I don't know about you, Ken, but the feedback that I get from my clients that I help with stress and anxiety is that they feel so lighter when they're leaving my office, as if they've left a 10-ton weight in my office.
Yes.
Because it's that burden, that weight that they would be carrying across the shoulders, and not only in the shoulders, it can be anywhere physical in the body. And people mightn't even realize that they're carrying it.
That's right.
Many cases.
And people don't realize that down in Waterford there, you could do this. You could help people with this. And that's why it's important to maybe look at hypnotherapy. Don't leave it for the last chance and go everywhere else, because it really is basically a psychological problem. Now, you used the word trigger earlier on there. That was a trigger too. I love hearing that word, because when a client tells me this triggers something, they know it's cause and effect. Yeah. So the effect is the anxiety. The cause is whatever that trigger was. And a lot of the work that I do up my side is coaching, emotional intelligence coaching.
Right. Okay.
So when they talk about the triggers, people will find, and your audience will find, that we find the same sort of event will trigger us time and time and time again. Sure. So when we know what that is, well, then we can deal with it. Now, everyone who walks into a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist's office, they're coming for a solution. So I don't push so much who we are, it's what we can do. Can we help that person? Yes, absolutely. We can help that person. And it's not a do-to process. A lot of people think, oh, hypnotize me to X, Y, Z. Yeah. It's a do-with process.
Yeah, and just on that as well, if I just add something to that, is that because most people think it's a conscious problem, it's not. It can be an unconscious problem, right? In most cases, which is what it does.
That's absolutely correct, because anybody who comes into your office, if it was a conscious problem, they would have already fixed it.
Yeah.
They would have just thought in a different way. And therefore the problem wouldn't be there, because remember, it's a belief system that we have. It's a thought process.
Exactly. Exactly. And many times have you heard someone saying that the harder to try to do something, the harder it gets, right? Well, I'm really trying so hard and I'm really willing myself to do something. And that's why, like, willpower is like the conscious, isn't a conscious mind. And that's why it's only a low percentage success rate for like quitting smoking and things like that, because what we do is we deal with unconscious problems, and that's the key.
So the problem is, it's not a conscious problem, because if they could fix it themselves, they wouldn't be with us. We wouldn't have any work. But it's a problem below consciousness. And there's where you specialize. There's where I specialize, because we deal with the problem which is below consciousness, which you can call it what you want. I call it the subconscious or the unconscious. So the thing is, we're now dealing with something that you cannot consciously change easily. But yet, when you come to a hypnotherapist, that change is very, very fast because it's the simplest, it's the easiest, it's the most natural way to change. It's changing your mindset quickly. Now,
yeah, and it's changing perspective and perception as well, because you know, if you're like in the eye of a hurricane, like you know, and everything is crazy around you, then you know it's when you come in to do hypnosis, you're able to. It gives you the ability to step back and see the bigger picture, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You step back, you look at it, you look at the problem for what it is, and it is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were talking earlier on about willpower. I love talking about willpower because willpower is someone who's maybe depressed, someone who's anxious,
Mm-hmm.
and their subconscious mind is saying, Ken, Trevor, lie in your bed. Don't get up today. Don't get up today. It's dangerous out there. Something's going to happen. And you're lying in your bed, and that's the safest place that you're going to feel the whole day is just lie, do nothing, stay in your bed. But then willpower kicks in and says, Trevor, get off your ass, get to work. We need money. And there's the willpower is actually pulling the covers back, and you're going out there. There's an ad that we had up north here, and it was to do with depression. And it was a guy coming in from work, and it was like a rubber mask that he pulled off. He put on that mask for today. And there's so many people around every town, and they're wearing this mask. And they come back into their house, they're back into their safer place, and they pull off the mask, and they're exhausted. They're absolutely exhausted. So willpower is a very short-term solution. Now, it will work, but it's short term. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause that person to go tired and weak. And this is why we need to deal with the problem. Deal with the problem.
Instead of dealing with, I suppose, the symptoms, because we
discussed
symptoms. That, you know, earlier on offline.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to you about like social anxiety. Now, social anxiety, can you share a screen? Can I share a screen?
Sure.
Can you do that? I'll throw up a slide.
Yeah.
Just opened it up here. So I'm going to press share screen, host disabled, sharing screen. So if you go under participants, I think it's in there. You can open it up there for me.
Hold on now. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay.
No, still closed.
Participants. Is that okay?
Hold on. Yep.
You got it?
So, yeah, I'm going to share this. Just open it up. So I'll cover up everything else that I have. Here we go. There is where our clients come in, Trevor. They'll come in maybe with social anxiety, and this is only social anxiety. They'll come in with the physical symptoms. Now, the physical symptoms of anxiety, well, blushing. Someone talks to you, you take a Revener, as we call it up here. Yeah. Some people think we need a translator when I'm talking to you guys, but we call it a Revener. You blush.
Yeah.
What about the upset stomach? You know, all the nerve endings in the stomach are all fluttering. You've got an upset stomach, maybe twitching, sweating. What about the back of the neck? All the muscles all tight, unsteady. There's muscle tension, shortness of breath. You know, these are what people come to us with, but they come to us with the physical side of anxiety. Okay?
Yeah.
When they're coming to us, anxiety starts cognitively. So it starts with the thought process, low self-esteem, different fears. You're negative about yourself. You're putting unrealistic demands on yourself. You're beating yourself up all the time, giving yourself tasks that there's no way you can do it. And this is the cognitive side. And then it goes to the behavioral side. Well, there's avoidance. Remember I was saying earlier about someone maybe who's feeling depressed. They just want to stay in bed. That's because your mind's saying, don't go out. It's safe here. You know, and sometimes for someone who's really depressed, getting up to have a shave is a good thing for that person. Changing from their pajamas into their day clothes is massive for someone who is in that state. Now, these are the kind of things that you're dealing with on a daily basis, Trevor. This is just a wee bit of information for people who have not been with you so far. So there's the behavioral side. Avoiding eye contact, not meeting new people. Even at work, you know, I'm not good enough. I've got low self-esteem. Oh, I want you to do a talk or a presentation. Oh no, ask Jimmy to do it. There's your avoidance. Ask Jimmy, he's much better than me.
Yeah.
And what happens is we have this behavioral change of backing out, declining to speak up at meetings in case you're judged, all this. So it's not only in their social life, it's also in their business life and their private lives, Trevor. Now, what happens once the behavioral side, where you've tried to avoid it, you've tried to get out of the task, say the task does have to happen, and you have to go to work, you maybe have to go to school, maybe you've got responsibilities, or maybe you need to get the shopping in and you have to go down the town. Well, this is where all the physical side comes. So this is what people would come to us for, Trevor, with regards to social anxieties.
Yeah.
And because it is psychologically, it is a thinking process, it is cognitive.
Sure.
Why treat the symptoms when we can come to you, when they can come to me, and treat the root cause?
Sure. And we're programming that part that we call the subconscious, unconscious. Like, in other words, the human computer, as I call it, everything that we do automatically without constantly thinking about it. So when we walk, when we talk, when we read, when we write, when we cycle a bike or drive a car, things we take for granted in our life, right? And when my clients come to see me to reduce stress and anxiety, not only can they leave all of the emotional toxic baggage in my office like a 10-ton weight, but they can reconnect. It allows my clients to reconnect with their power.
Yes.
Right? And gain that confidence that when they leave my office, not only are they feeling lighter, but there's a spring to their step as well. You know, you've changed around that cognitive thing where they've actually, what's happened is they're programmed in a way that is for health and happiness when they're leaving. So that's they're going to have experienced more of that in their lives. So yeah, one part of it is, I feel like allowing our clients to get rid of the stress and the anxiety, get rid of all that. But the other and arguably more important part is empowering our clients, right? We empower our clients to get the best out of themselves. And
you see, the thing is, as I said at the start, well, I think I might have said it, it's not a do-to process, it's a do-with. And I say to my people, listen, I'm just your guide from the side. That's what I say all the time. I'm your guide from the side. Yeah. I'm going to take you where you need to be. I'm going to take you on a journey. And this is where you then set plans, see the future for that person, and let them get into it and allow the change to happen. Now, we're talking about these behaviors. They're called unconscious behaviors. And you know what? They're good at them. because they've been practicing them for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
People are bloody good at beating themselves up.
Yeah.
People are really good at putting themselves down because they've been doing it for so long. It's an unconscious behavior.
It's a pattern. It's
And
a
once
behavior.
it is this pattern, it is this behavior.
Yeah.
And once you learn it, it's there forever. Well, let's try that. Go ahead. Start the alphabet. Where you go?
Well, you know, I always say if everyone knew the benefits and the power of hypnosis, everyone would want it, you know, really. And it should be the first port of call, shouldn't it? For people that experience stress and anxiety in their lives. And really, unfortunately, in some cases, it can be the last resort for people, though, can't it? I mean, I'm sure you deal with people like I do that come in and they're at their wits' end, they've tried everything else. And they come to us then as that last resort. And, you know, then they get it then, you know, because
you get it.
We facilitate that change, don't we? I mean, like we've talked about this, but they're all of our clients, we're empowering them to make the changes within themselves and programming themselves in a very productive and powerful way so that they can get the best out of themselves, right, and achieve their goals and bypass their limitations as well. Because, you know, you are right. I mean, we can't be our own biggest critics, you know, but it's really, like, I know it's been said before, but we are, to a great degree, what we tell ourselves, right? What we think about and what we focus on. Isn't that true?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, what we give our attention to. And
I think Guinness got it right, didn't they? Imagine, believe, and achieve. Is that their logo?
Exactly. Yeah. We are about tell ourselves. If we tell ourselves that we can't do something, guess what? The likelihood is we can't. We tell ourselves that we can, you know, and that's what we do as hypnotists. We open up these windows and doorways and create these opportunities for people, for our clients.
That's what it is. It's opening up opportunity that because of their unconscious behaviors, they didn't notice that the opportunity was there for them. It's like driving a car. We're talking about unconscious behaviors. Driving a car. Now, when you first started to drive a car, the revs were too high, you stalled it, you had to get the clutch right. There was steering wheel issues, there was mirrors. And you know,
don't remind me, my 1989 Volkswagen Polos come back into my mind.
Back to the black and white days. And we were trying to get this car and organize it.
Yeah.
Because we were doing it at that stage consciously. Okay? And then what happens, it gets hardwired. And now you can drive home and you think, flip, how did I get here? I don't remember. And what's happening is your unconscious mind now is taking you home.
Exactly.
And that's the same with negative emotions, negative feelings. You use them so many times. You're looking at the problems so many times. They become a problem because they got hardwired in. And this is why they cannot consciously release themselves, because it is a program issue. That's like, I asked you to say the alphabet there, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
I missed that one, sorry.
Now, the last time I said that was probably in primary 3.
Yeah.
Okay? Once it's programmed in, you're never going to forget it.
Yeah.
Once you've got it, you've got it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Now, if I was to say every other letter of the alphabet, well, then I have to go A, C, E, G.
That's right.
Now what I'm doing is thinking of every single letter, while before it was already programmed in.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to think about it. It becomes a problem. So these unconscious behaviors, as I talk about, we all have them. Some of them are fantastic. Some of them are cleaning our teeth in the morning when we get out of bed. Some of them is self-care issues. Some of them, they're unconscious behaviors you wouldn't even think twice. In fact, you wake up in the morning and go to work. You don't even need the alarm clock. It's an unconscious behavior.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And unfortunately, some of these unconscious behaviors are negative. Fears, phobias, their OCDs, they're stressing, they're worrying. They're worrying about what they don't want to happen.
And 97% of things that we worry about never actually materialize.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, 97%. So what does that tell you? You know, and believe me, I mean, that's the whole, as I said, like hypnosis will help you change your perception and change your perspective. And exactly be mindful of that. Because
that's exactly why we do what we do, Trevor.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a conscious process, it's an unconscious process. And yeah, this is why you're down there, Waterford. That's why you're busy. That's why you're working. That's why you're making massive changes for the people down here. I'm up north. I'm doing the same up here. And, you know, to meet up at that conference that we had, it was fantastic because it can be a lonely place for hypnotists.
Indeed.
You know, anybody who's watching this, if they go into their town, you're lucky if there's one hypnotist in their whole town.
Yeah.
You'd be very lucky if there's two in the whole town. Yet when you go through how many pubs are there, how many butchers are there, how many doctors are there, how many pharmacies are there?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
So we are very specialised in what we do. And when we meet up, and we're hoping to meet up soon, up in Larne here, sunny Larne.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. That's I've never been up that far up the, believe it or not. Actually, I've only been, I think, once, was in Fermanagh when I was younger. Was in
right.
Went shopping one day.
North Coast, up near the Giants Causeway.
I'm looking forward to going to the Giants Causeway. I'm bringing the family as well, so I'm looking forward.
Brilliant. So that weekend, I'm just going to share what I've done the last 12 or 15 years. That's all I'm doing. And we all specialise in different fields. Hopefully someone then will do another one where we all go to Cork, or we all head down to Watford, or we all head over to Sligo. And this community of therapists throughout the whole of Ireland, because there are so few of us, it's nice to catch up and meet. So that's why I just want to thank you so much for bringing me on here today for a chat.
Well, it's the first of many. Like this is a little bit new to me here today, and it's a new initiative that I've kickstarted, and I'm very honoured that you've taken the time. As I mentioned earlier on to you, didn't I? That the greatest gift you can give someone is, guess what, your time. And so I really want to thank you for giving up your time here for me today, and for sharing your expertise with everybody. Watching this video as well. And
you'll be sharing your
just to finish off, I mean, like sometimes, like the best way sometimes I can describe what we're doing is that, like but when we're born, right, we're born literally like a blank sheet of paper, aren't we? Right, and from that point on, we're programmed, right, just like you're programming a computer. And some of those programs can be good, you know, obviously, like brushing your teeth before you go to bed, one you mentioned, you know, walking, reading, writing, driving, cycling a bike. But what can happen is that along the way, we can pick up what I call parasitical programs that we're not born with. So
I like that.
So we have, like, you know, stress that we're talking about today, and anxiety, right, are not a natural thing for us human beings to be experiencing, especially the levels of stress that the average person experiences in the modern world and the modern, you know, lifestyle. And you know, that's to me, it's actually so important. It's one of my most popular programs, because, you know, everyone knows somebody who is experiencing stress and anxiety.
Yes.
And hypnosis is, I'm sure you'd agree, the best way to remove it, and to get yourself back in balance, and to, you know, to feel empowered, and get the best out of yourself, and yeah, and to leave your emotional baggage like as if a 10-ton medallion or 10-ton weight in our
It just
offices.
lifted
So
off.
when they leave, it's a new them, isn't it? And it's a great feeling. Then we're in a very lucky position as well, I feel, because it's a very rewarding job that we do, isn't it? And I certainly get a lot of satisfaction from helping my clients to achieve their goals, and I'm sure you do as well. So long may it continue.
Yeah, and it will. The world we're living in, stress is not going to disappear quickly.
Sure. Absolutely. I had a friend of mine recently that I noticed, even like where they were watching, you know, the TV news every day, you know, from when it comes on in the morning, probably to when it's finished in the evening, you know, the 6 o'clock news, the 9 o'clock news. And I could tell that they were kind of taking that weight of the world on their shoulders about everything that's going wrong. And, you know, because you turn on the news, let's be honest about it, most of it's bad, right? And so you have to be careful. As I said, we are remembered to a great degree, to a great extent, what we focus on, right? What we put attention to, and what we tell ourselves. And, you know, if we get involved and we focus all of our attention into all of the woe in the world and stuff like that, then, you know, that's a surefire way of kicking off that flight or fight response in our bodies. And you know, that's going to lead to chronic stress. And, you know, and as you said at the very beginning of this chat, stress is the biggest, isn't it, the greatest cause of sickness and disease and death in the world.
And I think I read a survey. It was also the biggest cause for absenteeism at work, stress-related issues.
Well, there you go. There you go.
You know, so yeah, anybody who's looking help with stress, well, there's Trevor's video. I'm just looking at this screen here.
Exactly. Okay, listen, I'm just keeping one eye on the time. I'm just going to keep this every 20 minutes, folks, by the way. I'm going to every Friday, Friday 4, and I'm going to have a brilliant guest on each week, a colleague of mine. We're going to delve into a different area, a different aspect of the work that we do each week. This week has been stress and anxiety. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've gained something from it. I want to thank Ken for his time and his expertise. And best of luck, Ken, and keep on doing the great work you're doing.
I'm going to just say one last thing before I go. You mentioned the blank sheet of paper when we were born. Yeah. So we had to learn how to become stressed. So we can learn how to be uncome stressed.
Very good. I second that. I agree with that.
We had to learn it. We had to learn our fears. We had to learn those things. So let's unlearn them. Let's come to a hypnotist and start that journey. Trevor, thank you so much for bringing me on. I'm looking forward to the good people who you're bringing on next.
Yeah, so we'll have you on again. I mean, this can be the first of many.
No, I'm looking for the real.
Believe me, we know. People don't realize, because like hypnosis, if everyone knew what hypnosis could do and how it can help you, there's very few things that we can't help people with, you know. And stress and anxiety just happens to be one of the most
well, that's your topic for today.
So I'll bring it. I'll bring it to an end for today. So listen, have a great weekend, folks. Anyone, all of you guys watching along here, watching this video. have a great weekend, and we'll see you all again next week, same time, same place for the Friday 4. Take care, folks.
Okay, thank you very much.
See you again. Bye bye.